Hi everyone. Well, in this video I will be carrying on the testing of the Dremel Stylo Plus. I'm doing a very simple demonstration on a little shot glass for you. In the previous video I ran through more of the details of the drill itself, and there is a repeat of that at the end of this video for those of my patrons who are on a different tier. So here I've got the drill with a large diamond burr, obviously, that they sent me, because I'm only using the burrs that Dremel sent to me. So I've got this in the drill and I've got it set to just over number 2 in the speed settings, which you would think is quite slow, but in actual fact, look at this, it's not bad at all. It feels as though it's going at a good pace, and it's certainly munching into my glass quite easily. Obviously, new diamond burr, it's quite rough, I suppose you can call it, but it's really engraving quite well. I'm comfortable using it. Obviously, a lot of water does help with the cut, as you know. And in the previous video I was demonstrating mainly dry, so here you will see using water how easily it cuts into this little shot glass. It is not a crystal shot glass, it is just a good quality glass one, and it is still behaving like butter, really. It's not bad at all. So I've just done some little petals. You guys know this little flower, or certainly anyone who has been to my one-to-one lessons, it's the very first thing that you learn. And it basically covers the very basics of glass engraving and using the tools that you have available. Now, I've just put in the green stone, one of the green stones that was sent to me. I've got it on setting 2, and this will very lightly go over the rougher edges. Should be slightly duller than the diamond. It's not really, I mean, it's not by any means a smooth stone, it's quite rough. But I'm just using what's available. It's not bad. I've only just touched the surface so that it doesn't remove much of the glass, so we're still keeping the depth. It was just to get rid of the clear glass. So now I've put a slightly smaller stone. There were 2 different sizes, so I was hoping this one was ever so slightly more effective. Anyway, taking away any rough areas on the edge of the diamond work, but also covering the clear glass, because I don't want to see any holes in my flower. I want to make sure that it's all covered. And you can see we've got a half tone going on here, which is not too bad. I am barely touching the surface. And using this little green stone also to create a very simple leaf, going backwards and forwards on each side, giving the impression of the veins and you know, the direction of the movement on the leaf. Instant leaf. Now you can imagine covering this little shot glass with flowers and leaves. That would be lovely. So now I should be putting in one of the rubber burrs that were sent to me. Got it set on number 2, and I'm now testing how the rubber works. I had asked them to send me rubbers because they hadn't sent me any, and as you know, in my processes I really like to use a rubber. And this was the only rubber that they sent, well, two of the same basically grade of rubber. I think it could do with being a little bit more abrasive to create a darker effect. Now, I know that sounds a bit strange, but it's true. But as you can see, it's not bad at all. It's worked on the stone quite effectively, but it's not going to be making it any darker than that. As you know, I like to use a variety of rubber, and the darkest would be like the black disc, which will virtually take it back to clear glass, especially over a stone, rather, from stone to clear glass. I'm just moving, as you can see, that little chuck and collet working together to change the size of the gripping mechanism inside. Well, you know what I'm talking about. And in goes the equivalent of the rat's tail from Dremel. And obviously very, very skinny. I'm just marking this area out. Obviously you can't have a stem that skinny. The poor old flower will fall over. Just adding a very simple vein there, just testing it, checking it out, see what it's going to do. It's nicely effective on top of the stonework. As you can see, the stone was not a bad shade. It was quite nice and dull. And over the darkened area around the middle of the flower, I am creating some little dotty effects. Here I have a slightly larger diamond, obviously still a small diamond, but slightly larger than the rat's tail, and I'm just running over that rat's tail again. Now I'm working dry, but in actual fact, obviously, you can work wet, and this would carve into the glass quite effectively. Here I am just finishing off the edges of the petals, adding a little bit of a highlight. You could go slightly deeper if you like, and create the effect of the petal folding over a bit. Keeping it very, very simple. Just for the purpose of testing the Dremel bits. It's not too bad. I would, I would say for someone starting out, it's not a bad drill. I wouldn't like to create one of my more important projects with it, because I am very used to using obviously a micromotor. But certainly if you're starting out, this is not a bad drill to start with. And don't forget, of course, you can use other burrs, not just the Dremel burrs. This is a bit of white tack that I am simply going to show you the depth of the engraving in the glass. Very, very simple moves. I've managed to engrave relatively deeply into this little glass. So now I've got that little burr back in, and I've decided to work wet, to go over again over that stem. As I say, it produces a neater, cleaner cut. And of course, it would make your diamond last a bit longer. So I've decided here to go a little bit deeper over the edges of the flower, giving it an ever so slightly folded over edge. To be honest, it looks like I'm just giving it a highlighted edge. It's hardly folded over to me. Oh, dearie me. I did make this video a little while ago. And so the voiceover today, as you know, when I add my voiceover, I'm never quite sure what's coming next. So obviously we're going slightly deeper. In fact, I would prefer to blend that in a little bit more rather than leaving an outline. But that brings the petal to the front, of course. It's been really interesting playing with this drill, having never ever used a Dremel drill before. I am not sure what the cost of these drills are. I will certainly find out and let you know. Not sure what I'm about to do next, quite frankly. Usual story. The water still dripping away. Nice soft kitchen towel. This is a stone just taking away some of the slightly rough edges of the diamond. I had noticed some little chippy bits. And you know what I'm like with chippy bits? That would be obviously because the diamond is very, very coarse. But that's fine. You can easily rectify it. So I'm going over again with the stone just to smooth that. And then next will come the rubber. It is strange having to press the on-off on the drill itself. Obviously, it's quite new to me. I'm sort of kept poking my foot around trying to start it with the pedal, which of course doesn't exist. But I still think for someone starting out with glass engraving, it's a great little tool. And I had just done the demonstration of just the lines and the dots on the previous glass and come straight into doing the little flower. And the drill itself is not hot at all. I thought with continuous use it would be warm at least, but it wasn't. So that's a really good sign. So I've got the little rat's tail back in the drill, and I'm just going over those little dots that disappeared when I touched up the edge there. Again, if I had used water, I could have actually gone a little bit deeper and made them stick out a little bit more. But I suppose at the end of the day, this glass, though it looks relatively thick, it's not that thick. And also you'll notice that the name of the glass is on the base. I just grabbed it as a sample and started engraving. I didn't even look. But normally I'd put that name at the back and engraving at the front. But this is just a demo. So you can see it's not bad. I'm just showing you now how the light is picking up the depth when you look through the glass. Well, it's sort of showing up. It's not showing. It's difficult to show it on this little camera. So now I'll add in the clip that I had on the previous video, introducing the drill from the opening of the box for those who were not able to watch the previous video. Patrons who want to upgrade to level 3, tier number 3, can do so quite easily to watch the whole of the previous video. Hi everyone. I have been sent a drill and various bits from Dremel. Now I have never used a Dremel drill before, and I have been engraving glass since 1983. So this is going to be very interesting, and I'm very excited about it. The drill that they have sent me is the Dremel Stylo Plus versatile precision craft tool. I have not opened this before, so I don't know what I'm getting into. There's obviously a book to have a read from, quick start guide. You know, those things that we just about never read. So I see also inside here is a little bag of goodies. I have removed it from the packaging, and there we have it. It's quite sweet. It's not that heavy. It's relatively comfortable, I have to say. That's not bad. It's got a little on-off switch there. Obviously a little speed control going on at the back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different settings. Quite easy to turn. So I've decanted some of these little bits into a larger bag so that I can see them a bit more clearly. And we have apart from the felt, and that we have got some tungsten carbide as well, and it looks like another collet and chuck. But of course I don't use tungsten carbide on the glass anyway, and there's some teeny tiny ones. Oh, I think that's a tungsten carbide. So there's one diamond that comes with the actual drill. That's interesting. Okay, and of course we can we'll experiment with our little bit of sandpaper. Yeah, interesting, jolly good fun. So I'll pop that back in there. So now it is time to see what this sounds like and feels like while it's in operation. I'm going to put just this little rubber burr that came with the burrs that were sent to me. So what you have to do is depress this little lock button here. Make sure that you do not touch the on-off button at the same time, because although they're virtually opposite each other, you can see how close my thumb is. So that's quite a no-no because it can't be running while it is locked. And I'm holding this lock down and I'm going to stick the burr into the top and tighten it. Take my finger off the lock and that will now spin nicely, and then you can start it up. That's only on 1.5. Running really smoothly actually, to be honest. You can barely see that it's going, so that's a really good sign. I won't run it very, very fast. On and off, and as simple as that. Then to take the burr out again, press that lock down, turn it until you feel it go, and simply unwind it. It'll loosen and then come out. And that is that. Just being very careful not to touch the on-off button. With everything all done and dusted, let's have a look and see how it behaves on the glass itself. I'm going to use a little shot glass and play with each and every burr that was sent to me and see what happens. I will work probably dry and wet so that you can see the different effects of the burrs. I'm really excited about this. Let's go for it.